It was a brilliant afternoon, the city basking in golden light while the streets lay unusually calm. In this serene tableau, an officer, ever hungry to brandish his authority, cruised the quiet avenues like a would-be monarch on a power trip. His demeanor exuded unchecked self-importance, a man perpetually poised to exploit any excuse for his baseless prejudices. Today, however, fate had orchestrated a scene that would upend his pompous theatrics. Gliding along the boulevard, his gaze locked onto a sharply attired gentleman, a black man absorbed in the soft glow of his smartphone, strolling with quiet dignity. Unbeknownst to him, his refined appearance and unruffled composure ignited a torrent of unfounded suspicion in the officer's mind. In the officer's warped vision, elegance and self-assurance were incongruous with the persona he believed such a man should embody. The very sight of this calm, confident figure seemed to scream intruder to his misinformed senses, setting the stage for an inevitable clash. In a heartbeat, the officer activated his flashing lights, compelling the man to pull over as if summoned to an unwanted stage. Stepping out of his cruiser with the swagger of an actor in a poorly scripted drama, he sought to impose his presence with an air of intimidating dominance. Yet the gentleman remained as placid as a still lake at dawn, his expression one of mild amusement, as though he'd witnessed this absurd routine 1,000 times before. Without missing a beat, the officer barked a demand for identification, his tone a cold decree meant to silence inquiry and assert unearned power. When the man, in a measured voice, simply asked, "What seems to be the problem?" the officer's disdain for any form of resistance flared into full throttle. His pride would not allow even a single question, so he escalated with needless aggression. In a moment that reeked of reckless vanity, he hurled a punch, not in defense, not in self-preservation, but as a manifestation of pure ego. There was no threat, no imminent danger, just an explosion of misplaced authority, a reckless act that defied all reason. Then, the universe delivered its most bitter twist. This was no ordinary citizen before him, it was the state's chief legal guardian, the Attorney General, entrusted with overseeing the very forces the officer claimed to command. As the fist swung through the air, the Attorney General sidestepped it with the ease and grace of a masterful dancer, leaving the officer staggering like a clumsy extra in a botched action flick. Calmly, with an air of incredulous composure, he inquired, "What are you doing?" A question laced not with anger, but with the quiet disbelief of someone who recognized absurdity when it reared its ugly head. Oblivious to the peril lurking beneath his own arrogance, the officer retorted with a haughty warning, "Don't get smart with me," even as the scales of power began to tip dramatically. In a moment that shattered the delusions of supremacy, the Attorney General reached into his wallet and produced his official ID badge, its bold lettering declaring his true authority. In that electrifying instant, the balance of power cracked open like fragile glass underfoot. The officer's bravado evaporated in a cloud of stunned silence as he stared, mouth agape, between the undeniable proof and the composed man before him. Without raising his voice or staging another farcical display, the legal chief stated simply, "You've made a serious mistake." Those words, measured yet weighty, sent the officer's defenses crumbling as he stammered a feeble apology, his pride undone by the sheer force of reality. Within moments, curious onlookers began to gather, their hushed whispers swelling into a chorus of incredulity at the unfolding debacle. The realization of the officer's grievous error rippled through the crowd like a tidal wave of truth. Unperturbed, the Attorney General strode away, phone in hand, already dialing the contacts that would ensure accountability, a silent promise that abuse of power would never go unchecked. Meanwhile, the officer spent the remainder of his shift drenched in cold sweat, his heart pounding with the terror of impending retribution. An internal investigation soon unraveled every misstep, dash-cam footage, mounting complaints, and indisputable evidence all converged to seal his fate, leading to his swift removal from duty. In the end, the episode carved a timeless lesson into the annals of justice: never underestimate the one you seek to intimidate, for you might just be confronting the very keeper of the law. Karma, it seems, doesn't knock gently, it barges in and reclaims the balance in the most spectacular fashion.